welcome to Damage Does D&D. We're back with the investigators. It's been a while. So, to get us back into the swing of things, I'll introduce our lovely DM, Martin. Take it away.
Good evening. So, excuse me. Last time, the party back in the capital of Ono, witnessed the sprouting of a swamp within the city, a strange after effect of the latest rift that opened nearby. Plans were discussed and made to go and speak to Rico McLaren, the head of the largest and most influential house in the country. We went along, had a delightful conversation with who can only be described as a complete arsehole. But he did, in the end, offer support of half of his available army against the onslaught of the golems that came through the rift, or golems, depending on your preference. And yeah, then Mazdak left a lovely cock on the wall before we left the mansion and began to head back to the underground tavern of the people. What are they called? The Blade Singers? No. Sasha? What? What's your guild called?
Shadow Singers.
Shadow Singers.
It was close.
I'm prepared.
It was close.
Yeah, so we haven't quite got there yet, but I believe we were on the way back. Over to you.
Okay.
What a knob.
Yes, well, quite literally at some point. I left a little gift.
Oh, did you?
Yes. You know what I drew on his map? I did a picture of a big cock. So,
You turned it into a mirror for him then?
well, one could see it like that, yes. So,
Well, we got more from him than I thought we might.
indeed. So, what is the plan? We're just going to go back and take a rest and
Prepare ourselves for the inevitable.
What is the inevitable?
That those things are going to come and violence is going to ensue.
I understand, but this is not our war, is it? Do we not have our own tasks to fulfill?
It may not be your war, but it's partly mine.
We did agree to give them some information and at least a few training techniques, so we're going to have to stay here at least another couple of days. Otherwise, I know people like him, he'll do anything he can to go back on his agreement.
And I cannot stand to leave those things.
Well, once we pass on our knowledge and the advice that we said we gave, I think that we've done what we said we would do, and it is now up to the people of this country to defend themselves. Defending one country's all well and good, but we've got to think on a continental scale. We need to solve this thing.
we also need to be very careful. Once the portal is back up and running, we may have to contend with a dragon.
Well, yeah, or at least that dragon's agents.
I'm not sure I can just leave. These are my people.
With all due respect, Sasha, I mean, like I said, we've got to think continentally. Focusing here, we've given them the warning they need. It's now up to them whether they choose life or destruction. But we've got to think about the life of the entire continent. It's not just one country that's affected. It's all of them.
We also have to remember that the creature that came through when Bernia experienced the first of these waves is or was heading towards the Dwarven country. So I know we have sent warnings, but they are in just as dire straits as the people of Oninia, which is very.
I mean, realistically, we need to hunt that thing ourselves. Ideally, or a group of similarly equipped.
Hold on one moment. Was there not a very powerful wizard who had a laboratory full of interesting magical experiments?
I do believe there was, and we have
Is
a way
it
into that.
a possibility because he warded an entire building? Is it a possibility we could somehow use that warding technology to try to ward a city? It would possibly require some kind of magical research, but surely as part of his rehabilitation, he can be pressed into service to research and deploy warding devices around cities. Would
Not a bad idea,
not be
but
a clever thing to do?
of course, but it depends on whether A, he can be located, B, he doesn't run off when we do find him, and C, whether,
But I thought we'd already found him and the... Wait,
No.
No, he
Well,
ran
that's-
off
that's
and
me
he
remembering
disappeared.
incorrectly. Yeah,
Yeah, he disappeared.
yeah,
We found his daughter.
we did.
Yeah. I mean, we could ask. What was her name?
Your daughter,
Yeah,
Nuala.
I mean, we could always ask Noala whether she can go us around the lab and see if there's anything that
Yes, the
could
problem
be
with that
found.
is we don't have any way of contacting her.
No, not at the moment, anyway. Could we not ask that nice fellow at the main hall where the teleportation circle is? He sent a message for us last time. Stanyard.
Yes, we could. Although
Perhaps
Well,
contact the
we-
Grandmaster again.
we did. Did we check in with them today? I can't remember if it was today or yesterday.
We checked in with them yesterday.
So we should really check in with them again to see if they've
If there's been
received
any
any messaging to say that the portals are now clear.
I mean-
It seems a little early for portals to be clear and safe to use.
Well, they did say it would probably be 2 or 3 more days.
Right.
Do you think this warding would be useful?
I'm not sure it could be done in time, but it's certainly something that they should be thinking about.
But we conquered the warding and we are not super people. We are just adventurers.
Yes, but it was keyed to 2 people pressing the things at the same time. You could change the key. But, as I say, this is just supposition and thoughts about magical assistance for cities. But then again, magic is dangerous when these effects are taking place, so maybe it's not such a good idea.
Well, maybe we table that for now, and let's get on back to get some sleep. Work out supplies that we may need. See if we can find somebody. At least make some preparations on what we're gonna prepare for that Athwipe's army.
We will also need to be prepared if more rifts happen.
If another pulse, you mean?
Mm.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it'll be.
Other ones may not be quite as calm as the swamp.
Well, the swamp's not exactly calm, but there are dangerous things in it. It might be that more dangerous things come out the next time. Depends how far back it goes. In any event, I think that we've done what we can for today. Made the preparations to pass on the information to the officers and the mages of his army. And then we see if we can get home, well, back to base at least, and work out our next steps. And then hopefully in the meantime we don't get barbecued by an angry dragon.
I'm less concerned about the angry dragon right now.
That, I would suggest, is a very foolish position to take.
Considering the angry dragon's a damn sight more dangerous than these golems. Come on.
You heading back to the underground
The massage parlour, yeah.
massage parlour.
The special favours parlour.
It does seem less of a secret these days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with a lot of people going in and out. There are obviously 2 tents for massages.
Or to have received a massage.
So as you re-enter the building and go through the usual steps to get down to the tavern below, you open the door and there's a wall of sound as this place is packed like you've not seen it before. All the tables are full. There's extra staff running around supplying drinks. And suddenly it stops and there's murmurs that you lot have re-entered. You can kind of hear talks, people whispering amongst themselves about you guys. Nothing in particular, but you can hear the names and you can hear the word investigators being whispered. Azrael has made his way straight back there. And he jumps up and comes over to you. Glad you're all here. To my table.
Certainly.
Yeah, we'll follow.
He sort of gestures at the bar and gets some drinks sent over. You can tell there's a bit of news kicking around about you guys being the ones to try and resolve the problems we're seeing here. I've sent out whoever was available today. I've sent them out scouting, had a look around the countryside, see what things are happening. It seems like Rikwalfak has fallen. That's the town that they were, the nearest town to where the rift had opened.
When you say fallen, do you mean
Overrun.
Right.
I had he points over at a centaur with a goblin on his back. Sasha, you would know these two as a pair that work together. Ruan and Rampy have been out as close as they can get to Rick Welfak. They say that they are using the forges of the town. From what you said about fire damage being something they could repair themselves with that energy, it's safe to suggest they've firstly used that to repair any damage. But they've also said they seem to be building. The suspicion is that they're making copies.
Right. So we need to get in there and stop that.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, right.
That was going to be my suggestion, so I'm glad we're in agreement.
Right, so I believe we're going to need your friends to guide us as close as they can. Do we need any supplies before we leave? I mean, if you can hit us out with like perhaps a week's worth of food for us to
Of
take.
course, anything you need. I would suggest that it looks difficult to get in. Certainly, sneaking 6 of you, some larger than others. Rampy can get in because he's small. He managed to sneak in through a few pipes. Ruan had stayed on the outside as the getaway driver, as it were.
How many of the golems stayed behind in the town?
There were at least 30.
Right.
And they're patrolling. What I would suggest, from our conversation with McLaren earlier, if we can utilize any of that force tomorrow as
a distraction.
Well, if we get them to march and form up outside the town make as much noise as they can as a distraction,
and to draw them away from the town.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they start to leave, begin to retreat and pull them as far away as they can.
Anything that can get you guys in.
But what is it it's some military term that they call when you sort of rush in and just like have a brief attack and then retreat and pull out again. There's some sort of almost guerrilla like tactics that just sort of harass them and draw them away.
I would call that harassing.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, I'm apparently now a military tactician. Yes.
I
Hey.
appreciate your enthusiasm, Mastak, but I remind you that I was a captain, not a commander.
Ah, right. Yes. Okay.
I mean,
I can lead, but I do not. I am not as good at planning.
Right. Okay. So I think possibly what we need to do is get, as you say, this force onto the outside of town, so that they can distract, annoy, but not engage.
Well,
to sort of pull these people around.
Yeah, I could probably rig up a few devices that could cause a lot of noise, hear explosions and things to draw them out.
Yes.
And then
it would be a good idea to lead them into some sort of rough terrain or some kind of trap with pits or something.
Yes, I think pits are a good idea. If they fall in pits,
yes, to sort of
try to shoot you.
At best disable, but then maybe temporarily just disable them. But it was cause the golems to not kill anyone if you harass them and lead them into pits, etc. So if we can get that information to this force, Azrael, is that possible? Something that you could do?
Yes, I think so.
So
But
what do we
surely
do when they are gone?
Well, we need to get into those forges to find out what they're building, and then I think it's probably time for our friend Kral to figure out a way of disabling what they're building, and maybe if they're building more golems, then maybe we could find a way of disabling them en masse. Maybe there's a switch inside that we will find out from looking at the ones that are not finished yet.
It would definitely be good to get a look at some half-built ones or even part-built ones. It was
Or what we also could do is, if we had one that was nearly finished, we could somehow take it over and use it against them.
I mean,
I'm
my,
dubious of that idea.
Well, we may have to improvise when we get there. But I'm good at that.
all I will say is if I will do my best with the technical side of things, I can't say that I'm going to be particularly au fait with everything, but I'll do
I'm
my
sure we
best.
can work out something.
and
Don't forget,
if
there's
I-
also the dwarven fellows as well out there somewhere.
I know. I mean, it stands to reason that if these things are building, any more of those future dwarves, if once they find out that that's where these golems gather in a building, it would be, I'd put money on it that I'd even bet my workshop that that's where that they will be heading. We may even find ourselves some
so-
help.
We're clear. That's where we need to go.
And I turn to Asriel. Did your person find anything other than the golems in there? Or is it just them?
Just them, I think.
Right. Damn. And we also need to be doubly careful. Mr. Asriel, this might sound like a very strange request, but can you please keep your people on alert for any red dragons in the area? If the portals become active again in the next day or so, we may have some particularly angry pursuers. Well, they may have some particularly angry pursuers.
More ideas. So, what we could do, if now, red dragons. No, they're fire, aren't they? That would be bad. That would heal the monsters. The
Fire would
golems.
be bad.
It could be bad, but it might keep them busy long enough. I mean, the
It might.
dragons also do have rather large claws.
I was just thinking, try to lure the dragon to the golems. You know,
And then
and let them.
let them pat it out.
I mean,
Might kill two birds with one stone.
it could possibly end our dragon problem.
But yes, I think it would. From what you've said, I think it would be the end of the dragon. It would
Yes.
certainly kill one bird.
Yes, the dragon trying to damage them would actually heal them, and they would just keep on fighting the dragon, and we could
But-
slip away.
The dragon also has rather large teeth and large claws.
Well, yes, indeed. Well, as many as it could take down, that would be fantastic. But we have to assume that the red dragon, not known for their cool
Tact.
heads, would just resort to what it thinks is its best weapon, which is its fire breath,
Yeah, but
allowing the golems to kill it.
may solve one of our problems after all. But still.
This is assuming that dragons aren't just waiting for us to arrive back and ambush us there.
Well, there is that too, but yeah.
But there's nothing we can do about that. If the dragon comes, the dragon comes. That's it. I will make a plan and we will escape again.
Yeah. I really didn't want to end up as turtle soup, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers.
I'm sure if you told them that we were using you against your will, the dragon would probably let you go.
Yeah, I'm associated with you and I've helped you. It's fine. If you go down, I'll go with you. That was the agreement.
I'm very noble.
I'd rather prefer not to go down at all.
Well, quite.
I've heard that about you, Sasha.
I mean, if you want us to give you some time, we can find somewhere else.
So, let's. What time of day is it, dear?
Ooh, we're getting into early evening, I think.
So, are there any other plans we have to make? I mean, this obviously changes what we have to do tomorrow. We have to go back there and
Well,
try and work out what the plan.
I mean, we've got, 3-4 hours left of the day before it turns real dark.
So, what do we need to do?
I would say perhaps gather our supplies and leave tonight, get as far out as we can, so we can get a good fresh start in the morning. Perhaps reach Rick Walfack by evening, infiltrate the town under cover of dark.
How long, Sasha? How long does it take to get to Rigwalla?
On foot, probably 4 or 5 hours.
So we could go there now.
The area, yeah. Set up, see what we want to do, get the lay of the land.
Scout it. You could send in your.
I could have Cass either, fly over.
Sounds like a plan. Shall we?
Yes. The next
Hey,
closest town to Wolfpack is Lawton, and that's where my family is. So.
Dalen,
Yar.
while this conversation has been going on, you've noticed someone watching you. Just from across the tavern.
Not being very subtle, I'll just turn and stare at them straight in the face.
This is a somebody easy to pick out across a crowd. They've got this dreadlocked, flowing, fiery hair. It is, as you turn to look at them, you can't make out what race she is. Where's my things on?
Does she look draconic at all?
Draconic. No draconic features there. Kind of tall and slender, like you'd expect an elf to be, but it's got similar-ish ears to you, orcish. It's got this sort of stout dwarven nose, and these eyes that are bright orange.
Can I be of assistance, sister?
You going over?
Yes.
Okay.
If she, I mean, I'm locking eyes with her. If she doesn't look away or do something else, then I'll walk over.
Okay. As you lock eyes, she sort of gestures, "Come over," and
Go over.
you do. And as she stands eye to eye with you, which is unusual for you.
Yeah, it is.
And as you lock eyes with this person, the noise of the room seems to die down. And any sense of being in a room with a lot of other people just goes, just vanishes, fades away. What are you guys laughing at?
Not laughing at anything. I'm just listening. And suddenly your vision sort of pulls back out as all your senses kind of got dulled
for a moment, and you can feel yourself standing on an endless ocean of water in a black void. And this woman, still stood in front of you, says, "Why do you never come and speak to me, Dalen? This is your god Vastro."
Oh, crikey.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble.
I did not know you wished me to, mistress.
Well, it's always nice to check in and pay me a visit sometime. I've missed you.
Then in future I will do so. How can I be of service, mistress?
Now, how do you think things are going? Just generally.
We're not dead yet. So that's good.
Not dead yet. Again. Okay.
Again, yes. We have not found the general yet.
No. That's fine. I was drawn to Uninia because so much death there. Nice. I thought I'd like to go. But I don't like it. Wrong. You need to stop it.
Yes,
Not
these
natural.
beings are out of time. They are not from our space.
Everyone's supposed to die in their own time. And they're not. People are dying all over the place and they're not supposed to be. So, I assume you've got some sort of plan to stop it.
Yes, we are mobilizing the armies here, and the temples are providing healers. We cannot speak to the mages yet because all the portals are closed because of the temporal anomalies. Sorry, been watching Picard.
How good is season 3?
So we are mobilizing here, and we are planning to do some investigation work as we think these things are trying to replicate themselves.
Good that you're coming up with something. It needs to stop.
Yes, mistress.
TC, she's really agitated by this. As you've very much come to terms with, the idea of death is completely natural and is nothing to be feared, and Vastro is there just to order the system, and it is disordered.
I will do everything in my power, mistress, to stop these beasts.
Well, let's just test you a little bit, shall we? And as she says that, the water beneath your feet just erupts in boiling water. And you can feel the water seems to be trying to wrap around your feet and pull you down. And she's just sort of standing there snarling at you. Can you give me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Yes, I can. That's 22.
Okay, nice. But it doesn't abate, and you can feel it dragging and dragging. This water just coalesces around your feet as it starts to drag you, and it's down to your knees. And as you try to resist, give me a strength saving throw, please.
Okay. That's a 16.
Okay. Again, it just continues. You feel like you're getting it, but it just keeps pulling until all of you is under the water, and this water is boiling around you and dragging you down, and it's not stopping. Give me a constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, getting worse. 11.
11.
Uh-oh.
Okay. And as you begin to lose consciousness, the water just drifts away. And you, as you were under the water vertically still, the water level just seems to drop without affecting the gravity. And it settles again beneath your feet, and you are stood as your eyes reopen. Still a calm place. And Vastro still stood there. But
Thank you for the lesson, mistress.
But she cracks and she smiles. All right. And she walks up to you calmly and just puts her forearms over your shoulders, as you can feel her sort of hands meet behind your neck. And she just whispers in your ear, nice and calmly, back to your friends now, Dale. And the reverse happens of what initially had gone, and your senses just disappear and then reappear again quicker than it was before. And the eruption of the noise of the room, as if nothing had happened, and you're back in the tavern.
I'll just stand there a bit sort of shell-shocked for a few minutes, trying to absorb it all.
So, as I was saying, we do need to leave right away, so that we can get there and do some reconnaissance and make sure that we're doing the right thing.
We need to mobilise all the armies as well.
I thought your friend Azrael was going to be doing that. Is that not the case?
Yes, but they were expecting some kind of help from us, and we're not going to be there to provide it.
Well, to be honest,
I believe I was just liaising. We are to have visitors this evening from two of the houses, the head of the guard of the McLarens and the mage of the Stainers, I think, was going to come by.
right, so we should do that first then, and then head out in the morning. Is that what you're saying?
You can head out as soon as you've spoke to them if that's what you plan to do, or you can go in the morning.
Well, what do we think? Well, I'll sort of look round to see if Dalen's listening, and
He's just sort of stood 10 feet, 15 feet from the table, just stood looking a little bit dazed.
Dalen! Dalen?
Yes.
What do you think?
Think of what?
You really ought to pay attention, you know.
I'm sorry.
Things are occurring and you need to be involved.
I was conversing with my mistress.
Is this really the right time for having a mistress? I mean, I'm all for you having interpersonal relationships, but we're trying to make plans here, Dalen.
My mistress is my god.
Oh, right, I understand. Sorry, I do apologise.
He is not happy.
Well, I didn't mean any offence.
Not with you.
Oh, well, I mean...
With the situation. Too many people are dying out of time.
Right.
It's not their time to die, and these creatures are killing them.
I see.
And she wants it stopped.
Brilliant. So what she's going to aid us in some way, is she?
I am here to aid you. I am her vessel.
Mazdag, as you're looking at Dalen, just give me a quick perception check.
Okay, perception check.
I haven't got a stripy tail, have I?
18.
Not my style.
That's
18.
yes.
Is Dalen wearing a necklace? You've not seen that before.
That's new, is it, Dalen? You picked that up in town?
What?
Your necklace.
Oh. That's surprising.
There is a silver chain that comes around your neck with an amulet on the front with the symbol of Vastro on it.
It is new. I did not realize she had given me this.
Cool. Maybe it's some sort of special magical weapon that will kill everything.
Maybe. I do not know.
I
We will find out, I suppose. Oh, I think I've just had a message from my god.
Oh.
Please, just call me DM.
Okay, I need to see what that is before I say anything.
Did you want me to take a look to see if it's magical or find out what it is for you?
No, let me just check my emails.
Galen, you seem to instinctively know what this is.
Oh, right, okay.
So once you've looked it up,
Mm-hmm. Okay. You just equip it so I can see it come in. Didn't seem to do much.
I'm sorry.
No, it says +1 to attack rolls and saving throw DCs of your spells. All right, sorry, I read it wrong. I thought it meant +1 to saving throws because the saving throws didn't move.
Your saving throws are going to be stupid from now on anyway, because I'm here.
This is his attack save.
Yeah.
That's improved rather than.
Oh, save DC. Right. Okay. Thank you very much. It is a blessing from my goddess. It will help me to look after you better.
Oh, good. So do you want me to identify it? And I'm already reaching.
There is no
Not that I can actually reach it, but...
If you touch it, you might die.
Right. Okay. Not dying. Good plan. Like that plan. So
And there's a sort of a hint of a little grin on his face, but you don't know whether it's because he's just got a present from his goddess or because he was joking.
okay. Never having seen Dalen do that before, I'm a bit concerned.
I suggest we debrief whomever is being sent to talk to us and give them all the information we can for them to pass on.
Is that the time for really... I mean, getting to know people is all very well, but
I mean,
removing their briefs...
What's wrong with you today, Mazdak?
and
Everybody seems to be talking very strangely today. There's Dalen talking about mistresses and you talking about debriefing people and me drawing cocks on walls. It's very... I'm very confused today.
Perhaps it will be wise to take a rest before we go.
I think that's probably a good plan. I'm feeling very strange.
That coming from you is quite concerning.
Well, I don't normally feel strange. I normally feel like me.
And then we'll leave first thing in the morning.
Of course, yes. If that's what everybody thinks is the best thing to do.
I think that is a good idea.
Mr. Asriel, can I ask a question?
Cool.
Do these so-called armies have any cannon or anything like that that would require powder?
No, but perhaps asking at the dock.
Damn.
Assuming you want whatever cannons use to explode.
I need some of the powder. I was going to make a few improvised devices that they could place and make a lot of noise with. It doesn't matter. Let's see what I can rig up with what I've got.
Well, like I said, you could go to the dock and purchase some gunpowder.
Well, I suppose that these lot don't need me to brief the, people that are coming to speak to us, I guess. Right. Well, I will bid you adieu for now. I need to go and see if we can get some, at least a half barrel of powder.
Very well.
What's your back, Roll?
I mean, that's physically impossible for me, but
You know what I mean.
oh, I know. And he's just gonna stomp out.
Okay. So let's stick on that. Well, the others, are you just gonna sit around the bar, grab something to eat,
Yep.
that sort of stuff?
Wait for these people to arrive that we've got to talk to.
Yeah. Find somewhere quiet to sit. As quiet as I can find down here to sit. I'll probably get my pipe out.
Yeah. None of it's particularly quiet. It's a fairly rectangular room. Most of it, there's sort of booths down the one side, like the one that Asriel sits at, which is nearest the bar. The rest of it are these long tables and benches.
Yeah.
So you could possibly find a spot in a booth a bit further down.
Yeah. Just somewhere where I can try and sit on my own and smoke.
While I'm waiting, I'm gonna start an arm wrestling thing. Get people to try and take me on for like a goal to go.
Okay. We'll have a go at that in a sec. Dalen, Mazdak?
I'll watch the arm wrestling.
I will sit and ritually cast. I want to know what this necklace is. I'm intrigued. So I'm going to cast Identify.
Do you need to touch it, or
Not sure.
I thought
Let's have a
so.
look.
I thought
Yeah,
so?
I must touch it. Oops. Okay, maybe I won't do that then. I want to, but the problem is if Dalen's standing up, I'm never going to be able to reach it to touch it.
You're a medium creature now, aren't you?
Yeah, but I'm still not tall. Let's have a look. How tall
Dalen's
am I?
quite big.
5 foot.
I recall.
I'm only 5'2".
I'm 6'10", but still with your arm, you might be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
the idea was just to sort of reach up and touch the back of the necklace. Because although I've been warned I might die, I'm Mazdak. I need to know. Knowledge is important.
Well, if Dalen is sat down watching the arm wrestling, I'll say there's an opportunity for you to try.
That's what I will do.
Okay. Let's do a stealth check, and we'll run that against Dalen's passive perception. Yeah.
Okay.
This is going to go so well. 17.
As you try it, a hand snatches back and grabs your wrist
Oh!
and sort of lifts you up a little bit and says, Mazdak.
It's me, Dalen. I was just looking at your necklace. I was going to identify it for you so that you knew what exactly it did.
I know.
Can I be? Could you perhaps put me down? That hurts quite a lot with my arm.
And I'll just let go of him and drop into the floor.
Crumple to the floor.
Sometimes your curiosity can be a danger.
Inquiring minds need to know
Need to know what?
what it does.
It helps me to help you.
Yes, but how? What does it do? How does it get its power? How does it know what to do? These are things that I need to know.
Comes from my God. It is divine.
Yes, but okay. All right, I will try not to look at it again.
You could look as much as you like, but you cannot touch.
Fine. And I will sit there next, opposite him, just watching him.
Oh, good timing. Sorry, got to let the dog out at that point.
You missed by one. His passive's 18.
Seeing as I've got a +1 to my
Yeah.
stealth, so you know.
Sasha. So you go and round up some partakers, willing, well, at least for the entertainment value.
Yeah.
Your reputation certainly precedes you in this place. So first up, there's a large Goliath that you've seen around before. Shall we?
We shall.
Let's just do contested strength checks.
Non-natural 20.
17. It's tough, back and forth a bit. He thinks he's getting there. He kind of, but you're just holding it, just waiting for that moment, just slamming down. There's a roar. There's a gold coin chucked at you as he walks off.
So, Dalen, are you going to do the arm wrestling with Sasha?
It is not my thing.
There's nobody
Who's
else.
next?
Me!
Really, Mazdak?
I mean, how hard could it be? It's all about technique, right? Not just brute strength. Surely there's some arcane art to it.
Put your gold where your mouth is.
Of course.
Watch this, a natural 20 now. That would be so funny.
That's the reason I'm doing it.
Either that or Sasha nat ones.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always a chance.
Don't jinx me.
Strength check, yeah?
Interesting.
Let's do it, yeah.
21.
Oh, nice.
17.
Oh, that was good for you.
So it's not a pushover.
No. Sasha, maybe for the first time in the 6 weeks that you've been with this group, you're impressed with Mazdak.
I'm stronger than you look.
Well, as I said, it's technique, not just brute strength. You have to be able to, you pull in and then down. Plainly, brute strength does work, but I think you were surprised, and I think, yes, you won. Okay, just give you a gold.
After watching it for a little while, I'll walk over and sit down opposite Sasha.
All
This
right.
is what I'm
Moment.
talking about.
It has been a moment since I have done this. And I put down my left arm for her.
Dalen, I think Vernya's going to win. Do you want to gamble? I quite like gambling now.
Do you?
Yes, I think
What
that
What
if
would you like to gamble?
I've got 1 gold piece, and that I think that Vernya will win.
Okay, I will have a gold piece. I'll take one out. And I will say Sasha is going to win.
Fantastic. Winner takes it all.
Very well.
Put the gold piece on the table.
Hardcore.
Yeah. You got to remember, like 7 weeks ago, a gold piece to Mazdak was like a year's worth of wages.
Have at you.
Is it strength then, yeah?
Strength, yeah.
Bring it on.
No.
That was very nearly a natural 1.
Sasha's knocking it out of the park.
23.
14.
Slam.
I think these are mine, Mazdak.
I
And I'll
think
pick
I
two
think you're
gold
correct.
pieces.
It's exciting
Oh.
though.
It
Oh,
is.
God. Your strength is impressive, Sasha. And I'll place the gold coin on the table and then go and retake my seat.
I'll slide it into my pocket and then take a drink of beer.
And as you look up from sipping your beer, there appears to be one more challenger. A young dwarf that you fought a couple of days ago, Charles, is here for a piece of you.
Again, Galen?
Who do you wish to back this
I
time?
think the dwarven fellow will win.
Then I will go with Sasha.
Okay.
2 gold this
Gold on
time?
the table. Yep. Sorry.
2 gold this time, maybe? Well, I have 2
Sure.
here that I just picked up off the table.
Absolutely, yes.
What do they call it? Double or nothing?
That's actually a very good tip. I think it's double or quits, which is the
Oh,
same
I
thing,
see.
I think.
Okay. And I'll put the 2 gold back on the table.
Okay, I will put 2 more on the table.
Charles also puts a stack of 5 gold down. I hope you're here to play.
Always, darling, always.
Down. He cricks his neck and he gets ready and he sticks the arm up and he's just staring at you. Let's roll.
Natural 20!
Natural 20. How have you rolled so amazingly? That's brilliant.
No, D&D Beyond's on my side today, apparently.
Clearly,
So.
clearly. When rolls back up stats, amazing. I got a 15 with y'all.
There's blatant bribery going on.
Second.
This is mine.
Blatant bribery with the random number generator.
This
I mean,
is-
I'm doing it for D&D Beyond. You can literally see my rolls.
Yep.
I think it's mine.
I do-
Stack, and I'll pick up the 4
Indeed.
gold.
She's very good at this, isn't she?
She is rather.
As he just rubs his wrist as he just storms off, leaving the gold there. I gotta say, I do like this kind of public thing being done through D&D Beyond because everyone gets the same react. Or everyone sees how it goes. I considered adding Charlotte into the campaign so you could see his role at the same time, but thought that would just take too long.
Yeah.
So you're clearly rolling in it, and having beaten the unnamed Goliath made up on the spot, and Jarl, as well as a couple of your friends, there are no more people coming over to give you a go.
Well, that's very exciting. Thank you, Sasha. I'm a little bit richer now. And thank you, Mazdak, for making me so.
You're very welcome. It was exciting and interesting. Possibly an experiment I will not repeat, but who knows?
Let me buy you a drink as consolation.
I would like some water, please.
That'll be cheap then.
Yes? I don't drink beer.
And I'll just go and buy everyone some drinks.
Cool. As you order the drinks, nobody asks you for money.
Okay.
They just pour the drinks, they put them down in front of you, and then they move on to the next. Who you see is asked for money. But
Not what you know, it's who you know.
there's clearly a tap behind the bar for your table. So, Kral, you head out of the building and take a left, head towards the docks. There's a bit of a struggle for you as you have to navigate your way through swampy terrain with what are those trees that sort of sit on their roots out of the mangroves? Yeah, there's these things that just sprouting. You got to try and work your way through all that. But you make your way down to the dock. There are ships, there's a dock, there are people milling around.
Do I recognise any Cantesian ships that, or at least Cantesian Navy ships that may be in the area? Or maybe the dock?
No, there are no Cantesian ships here, but there is a wide array of different styles of ships.
Yeah. Okay. So would I be able to hazard a guess at which ones would be more likely to be carrying powder and would be more likely to part with at least some of it for me?
Give me an intelligence check.
Ooh. Ooh, that's not bad. That's 18. 23.
Yeah, for sure. You can identify a couple of ships that are definitely carrying. I mean, you can see the cannon portholes on the sides of the ships to begin with, and pick one and wander over.
Yeah, so I'm just going to wander up to towards the pier in the end of the where the plank is, because there should be somebody there that based on that I can ask.
Yeah, most of these ships have got someone sat on a box on the dock.
Well, hi there. I was wondering if you could help me, perhaps point me in the direction of your captain.
You all right, mate? Yeah, what sort of thing you after?
I need half a barrel of powder.
Barrel of powder? Right, yeah. I think you're right. Might need the captain for this one.
Yeah.
Don't touch anything, all right?
I know what not to do on a pier. Don't worry.
Yeah, right. And he just wanders over, climbs the rope up to the ship, constantly looking over his shoulder at you.
So one of the poles that secure the pier, Kral's literally just gonna go and just lean up against one and just wait. This isn't his first rodeo.
Do you find it difficult to lean with your back against things? Because surely the shell would make you want to roll around it.
To be fair, I mean, he's a practice hand at it, and there's a ridge on the centre of his shell, and he literally just puts the ridge on the thing, and then literally just rocks backwards and forwards. Quite therapeutic.
Like your favourite seat has got an imprint of your ass. You've done so much back leaning, you can't hold down the spine.
It's literally just one plate in the very centre of his shell, and he's got a little divot in it, and he just leans and just rocks backwards and forwards.
So it's not too long before Captain, who's sort of putting his jacket on top of the ship, as you can see, and he climbs down the ladder. Right then, mate. So you're after some powder.
I need a half barrel if you got one. Should suffice.
Half barrel, right. Yeah, I can sort that out. It's going to be 80 gold for half a barrel.
That's fine. And
Right.
Kral literally just reaches behind his head, and there's he's got it portioned out. So he's got a purse with 100 gold in, and just chucks it up to him.
All right. You want any change?
Nah, it's fine. I just need the powder.
All right. Cav, get this man a generous half barrel. And you stand and wait, and it is all sorted, and someone comes and hooks a barrel. Do you need getting that anywhere?
No, I should be fine, thanks.
All right. Pleasure.
Thank you kindly. And he's because the barrel should be about probably 2 feet tall, about a foot across ish.
Yeah.
So
look that up. So you've probably got about 8 pounds of powder.
Nice. Yeah, so he's just going to hoist it up onto the corner of his shell, and then just start trundling off back home with it.
Walking into a lively bar with lots of fighters and mercenaries with a big box of explosives.
Yeah, 100%. What could go wrong?
Fireball? Wait, no.
Depends whether you want to sing your eyebrows a little bit.
That'd be fine.
So, of course, it takes you even longer to get back.
Yeah.
Trying to carry that through the swampy swamplands. The swampy swamplands.
Swampy swamplands.
But
Okay.
yeah, you get back to the
Okay.
to the massage parlor.
So
Yeah.
when I get back, I want to go to the rooms that have been prepared for us with it, and then what I want to do is pull out the armor we got off the future dwarves,
Okay.
and I want to use my ring of the maker and one of the breastplates. I want to cast fabricate on it,
Okay.
and I want to form several sort of cylinders with obviously with screw ends on. Essentially, I'm making pipe bombs
Right, with you.
using the fabricate spell.
Just seeing if
If at all possible.
Say. Well, I'm just thinking, like, it would, of course, be possible if you had some nice, iron ingot, but this is a material that you don't really know the composition of. Whether a fabricate spell is going to allow that to work.
We could use brass, couldn't we? Or copper to make a copper pipe and just use that as a one.
If you've got...
It says, given sufficient quantity of raw materials if you're working with metal, stone, or any other mineral substance. However, the fabricated object can be no larger than medium contained within a single 5-foot cube. The quality of the object is commensurate with the quality of the raw materials.
Okay. Firstly, roll me a D100.
Cool.
We'll see if...
67.
Okay. And then give me a D4, please.
Okie dokie. 4.
There you go. That's how many pipe bombs you can make.
Nice. So
I rolled higher than you on the percentile, so you
Okay.
ended up with a D4 rather than a D something else.
Yep, that's absolutely fine by me. To be honest, you only need that's 4's probably enough anyway. And then what he'll do is sort of fill them with some of the powder and a few sort of other materials that he's got, like with some sulfur and things like that as well. Using his knowledge from the cannon making business that he was in before, so he would know the basics of cannon making and cannon maintenance and how to use explosives. And he essentially formed these 4 with sort of just a basic fuse at the top, ready to basically, they could be either lit and set, or you could put a longer fuse in them if they wanted to and just light it from a bit further away. And it's essentially just there to make his noise. But he'd give 3 of them to he's prepared 3 for the army as a distraction, so they can use them to sort of make noise and or even lob at the golems when they come out to cause a bit of a distraction. He's going to keep 1 for himself, just in case.
Fair enough.
Are you explaining this plan to the rest of us?
Kral will then return down to the bar with these explosives and sort of place them on the table like a very sort of proud.
And what are these?
Well, they're bombs, to put it bluntly.
Huh.
You
So,
remember the
if we were to give them to the army, say, they could then make large craters in the ground, so the
Well,
golems
they
would
could do
fall
that.
in.
I mean, they could do that, or they could infiltrate somebody to the tree line outside the town. set them as a trap. The golems come out. They light the fuses and run. It causes a big explosion. They, and a big distraction gets the golems out of the town. And I will be keeping one of these for us just in case.
Okay.
But these are all I can make now. But I've got, we got the half barrel of powder. There is maybe some left. Well, there's going to be plenty left. And I'll sort of put a little bit in my bag. And then maybe if I can do it again, I can use some more of the plates from the armor from those dwarves. And I can fashion some more.
Intriguing.
But this is the best I could do with the materials I've got and the time I had.
I see. No?
Right.
Okay. So, we'll take a quick break there.
Okie dokie. Okay, so yeah, we will have a quick break, go grab a drink. We'll be right back. back, everyone, to tonight's episode of The Investigators. I will hand you across to Martin.
His eye. So, all hanging out in the bar area, and Krell's just shown off his fancy new utility tools. There's an approach at your table, a short fella, just sort of leans in rather sheepishly. Hello? You the investigators?
Yes, we are. And you are?
Oh, my name's Bersalak.
Oh, hello, Bersalak. I'm Mazdak, and this is The Investigators.
Oh, Mazdak, good. Yes, I am the mage of House Stainer. I was sent to speak with you.
Fantastic. Okay, brilliant. So we have obviously a golem problem. I don't know if anybody's explained this to you so far. How much have they said?
That there's a golem problem, and you guys are trying to organise.
Yes, indeed. So, as far as magical offences are to be relied upon, fire damage is out, I'm afraid. No fireballs. This does in fact heal them. So any other kind of arcane offensive weaponry that you have would be best. Even if you could, I don't know, enchant weapons, that would help. Magical weapon enchanting, although that may be best left to a cleric, perhaps. But anyway, anything like that would be good. Also, some sort of illusory magic may work on them. I don't know, I haven't tried out. What I did find was that grease is a fairly basic spell, works brilliantly, makes them fall over, therefore rendering them prone and therefore vulnerable to attack. So that, again, as I say, is a good standby spell.
Was there not other magics that the golems were not hindered by? Poison, if I recall.
Yes, fire, poison, and I can't remember.
And the mind magic.
Oh, psychic damage. Yes.
Right.
So those would be the ones to avoid. But
thunder, force, acid all work quite well.
Yes, the acid worked very well.
Well, my specialty is more in defensive kind of magic, warding.
Right. Yes.
Sorts of things.
That could work. Yes.
Though grease is a very good idea. I've not done it in a while, but I can do it.
Good, excellent. It's always a good one to do. Keeps them.
I believe that some of the attacks made by the golems were force damage. It certainly hit quite hard.
But what kind of barricades, magical barricades, are you thinking? Are you?
Well, this wizard was saying he dealt more with defensive.
I was asking the wizard, not you, Sasha. You don't have any defensive magic, so I would. It's Bersalak. Sorry, maybe I should have said your name first so as not to confuse Sasha.
I thought you were clearly looking at me, so
yes. Well, I was talking to you. She's very strong. Don't arm wrestle her. So, yes. What sort of defensive magics were you thinking of? Was it a wall of force, perhaps, or?
I can do a wall of force. Yes, that's what I was going to say. I mean, we could possibly use it to completely encapsulate a single target.
Yes, enclose him. Yes, I would have suggested magic circle, but that doesn't work on automata, I don't believe. So,
no.
What I was trying to say, Mazdak, is that when I was hit by this thing, it dealt me what I believe to be force damage.
Yes.
So if there's any way for this wizard who has defensive magic to counteract that, that could be beneficial.
Right. I'm
Um,
not sure that there is a magical way of counteracting force damage, other than Wall of Force may negate, depending on what amount of damage is being done.
I'm not the magic expert. I
Yes,
just
so
thought it
I'm
was
just a bit
worth knowing.
just a bit confused why you're joining this conversation, as you're not the magic expert.
Mazdak, if this one's specializing in defensive magic, perhaps they could liaise with the clerics as well, because I do believe
Yes.
that the clerics can pick certain people and they can make their I forget what it was called, but I've seen it done once before. A cleric touched someone and they became stronger, and their attacks began to, their weapons began to shed light, and they became.
Yes, some kind of yes, that would be good. Some sort of enchantment and stuff. But yes, it would be a good idea to talk to the clerics. Certainly, see if you can combine with them to use some kind of combination of a wall of force, or perhaps some kind of shield. I know that's a reaction that we normally do to ourselves, but
Yeah.
so yes, those are the things to avoid. Yes.
I mean, if you've got a way of absorbing elemental magic as well to negate the chest thing that it did.
Yes. Just trying to think of anything else that would work.
My well, I suppose if you guys cast, I use alembics and things like that to enhance the magic, but fairy fire, I believe you would call it, was effective in at least making it easier for my allies
Yes,
to
indeed.
hit it.
Anything that can sort of help the other attackers to, but it's more of a at the moment what we're going for is more of a sort of distraction type thing, so that we can get into the town whilst you guys are drawing them away. That's why I suggested grease, things like that, digging pits, all those sorts of things as a delaying, distracting tactic, because engaging these creatures is not a great idea, because they are, as we have said, impervious to fire and
I mean-
psychic, etc. So, unless we've got some way of making the army have magical weapons en masse, which is going to be a struggle for just, I don't know how many mages you have with you.
Do you have access to the mage hand and the unseen servant?
Yes.
Right. And he's going to show first like the bombs. Right. These I'm going to give to the army. They can be used as distractions. They can be used offensively if you need to, but essentially they are bombs. You could instruct maybe your unseen servant or use your mage hand to carry one once it was lit.
Yes. Yes, that could work.
I mean, if you could carry it, or if you could mage hand this thing into, even into the bodywork of one of those golems, you could do some serious damage.
That could possibly work. I was wondering if there's more of a, because these are tactics to try and damage a single target, but there appears to be a lot of them.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
And whether there's a wider tactic that we can employ to trap some of them, if we could.
Do you
Yes,
know of any?
kind of entanglement would be a good plan.
Yeah.
I was wondering, less magical, perhaps, in its execution, more of like dig trenches, holes
Yes,
to try and lure
absolutely.
them in.
Trenches would be good, and maybe even some illusory magic to fill the top
Yeah.
of the trench so that they
Exactly,
don't
that's-
see it, and bam, over they
Are
go.
there any areas of difficult terrain, perhaps that have already got holes in them that perhaps you could just enhance the size of the holes and draw them onto it?
Not really. I mean, the landscape is quite hilly. There are a few cliffs and waterfalls and things.
Obviously, sending them over cliffs would be a fantastic idea.
That would be difficult to execute.
Yes, well, then you may have to improvise with the landscape you have at your disposal. But as I was saying, the idea is to, if we can disable some of them, great. Maybe these bombs take out one of the legs. That way, if they've only got one leg, they can not go anywhere.
Either that or draw them onto a cliff and then blow the bombs and blow the edge of the cliff off and take them with it.
The trouble I see with that would be someone or a group of people would need to lure them to the cliff, and then how do we get those people out safely?
Fly.
Fly. Yes. Again,
Flyfall.
Featherfall is always a good one.
The golems are not graceful. Horses are. If you can devise a way that a horse can pass through, but a golem could not, would be ideal.
Yeah, some sort of bottleneck to get them into, so that you could then seal behind them and sort of trap them somewhere. That would be a good plan.
yes.
Is there a valley or a quarry that you could lead them to?
Maybe roll big rocks down on their heads.
Always a good plan.
Big rocks. Okay. Yes. Yes, there are. One of the rivers flowing from the south out to the ocean has bored quite a valley over the years.
And
We could use that.
perhaps you could use the bombs in that case to cause a landslide of rock to bury them or at least block their path.
I wonder if there's a sufficiently narrow section that some horses could leap over with some illusory magic
Absolutely.
covering that gap. That could be.
Carl, you're more of a mechanical expert in this regard. Do you think these creatures would be affected by water?
Not with the mechanics and the advanced nature of the alloy that they're made from. The fact that they're part arcane, I would very much doubt that water would even slow them down. I really don't think it would do anything. I mean, I don't think they'd do too well in water. I think they would be very slow, very cumbersome. I think it would, as it would with anybody, it the bigger you are, the larger your displacement in the water, which means that the water is going to act on you even more when you try to move.
I would imagine that they cannot swim as well. So if there's a body of water,
Yeah,
that could trap them completely,
they're
Whether or not
sufficiently
they-
heavy, they would sink.
they would sink. Yes.
So I mean, if you've got something sheer enough that you believe that you could sink them and they couldn't climb back up, then I would go with that. But from what we've observed, they're not particularly graceful, and they wouldn't be able to clear a sufficiently wide gap beyond their stride.
There is a lake next to where the rift opened, north of the city. I wonder if we could lead them.
I mean, that sounds like a very good plan.
Now we, as far as I understand, we know them to be defending the city where they seem to have set up some sort of encampment.
I mean,
But we do not know if they will engage to a distance and then retreat, or whether we could just lead them off.
I think you're going to have to sort of harry them, and sort of keep going in for a swift attack and then ride out, so that you antagonize them, so that they keep following.
Perhaps split. I mean, I'm not really an expert here. Miss Bernier would be a better one leading soldiers, but do you think that it'd be better if they split their force into multiple sections? Keep hidden from different directions, keep them off balance, do what they can to confuse them? They don't seem particularly intelligent.
There are certainly a lot of men. I believe there were 6,000 from the McLarens being mobilized as we speak, and the coffee delivery. Thank you.
Hey, coffee delivery!
Woo!
Coffee on stream.
So, yes, we have roughly 6,000 men of the McLarens. I believe Lord Stainer is offering up a further 3,000 and another another 3,000 from the Locabos.
So, where are the military commanders?
They are currently with the army.
I thought somebody was coming to see us.
I believe so.
Right. Because this would be very annoying to have to say all of this twice.
Very, very good point. Yes.
Do you know who it is that's coming?
Yes, Captain Tebold of.
Could you perhaps message him? Get him to come a little quicker?
I do not know him, so I don't think I could get a mental message to him.
Fair, okay.
But yes, we're of different houses, so I do not know.
Right, I see, I understand. So, I think all of these are very good ideas. I think we do need to, as Mr. Kral says, split the commands into units that will harass and harry these golems, sort of corral them into where you want them to go.
Yes.
From
Okay.
what I saw before, once they were engaged, they tend to pick a target and generally focus on that target. So they do stretch out and reach others if they can, but it remained quite focused on me previously.
And if you can spread them up, maybe that you can direct the magical assaults onto each one in turn and take them down one by one, so you haven't got to fight the whole force while the others are keeping them busy.
Yes. We do not have a huge amount of magic users. There is I and my apprentice.
But if you can use yourselves tactically.
Well, this is it. Yes, we need to do it tactically. There's no good me using all my spells to do some damage to one of them. It would better be served to do some sort of illusion, as we said, to trap many of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, while we wait for the McLaren's captain to get here, I'm going to get a drink, and then we can discuss.
Absolutely.
There are a couple of magic users situated at the portal room. Maybe
Yes,
you could collaborate with them as well.
Yes, the Cantetian Embassy.
Yes.
I mean,
they did say that they've currently got their hands full waiting to re-enable the portals. So we find that's probably the best use of their talents, so that they can get magical reinforcements in as soon as possible.
Yes.
While this conversation's been ongoing, Kral's basically pulled out what essentially used to be a sort of a belted tool holder. So you could just this like slot, so you could slot like hammers and things in, and he's sort of pulled the stitch in on parts of it and slid the 3 bombs into this thing, and then folded the leather around it like a little satchel, and then sort of used them to Berserk.
Yes. Okay.
I believe these would probably be better in your hands than the army. I mean, at least you can decide who you give them to. It's entirely up to you on what plan you use. If you're going to lure them into somewhere and then bring rock down to trap them, or rocks on top of them, you can deploy it that way. But I'm purely building these tools for you to use. Now, if I can make any more before morning, I'll try. But I'm pretty tapped out with what I can do at the moment.
Right. Yes. Thank you. I will try to keep these safe. And this is a setting small, but he is a halfling, so he's very small.
Mhm.
And these sort of large canisters wrapped up in leather are kind of a handful for him. So he sort of puts them back on the table. We'll just keep them there for now.
Tell you what, Az, after this is all over, you could probably make a killing from opening a magical shop.
Yes, well, I think there are many opportunities from all of this.
I think McLaren at least would probably exhaust the supply. You know what he's like, he's very competitive and he wants to show that his army is better than everybody else's.
But we should not underestimate his miserly nature. So Bertolak wanders off to the bar, comes back with a sherry. Also striding behind him, sort of impatiently, like this little fella, is an Asimar that is clearly walking directly towards your table. So, Sashi, you're here. This is Roland Tebold, captain of McLaren's Guard.
Hello, Roly.
Right. So, what's happening? You good?
Barlow leaning to my stack. I
Right,
bet
bear
you
with
that.
me, just one sort of dog emergency.
You're a captain?
Well, some of us do as we're told, Sasha, and that means we can work up.
You remember what happened last time you tried to cross me, Roly?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, she fell over.
Oh, she can.
Yeah, she's okay.
Big lump.
Back legs don't work it very much anymore, so.
How are your balls?
Well, they're fine. They mended. But,
Oh,
I think it all worked out well for me, doesn't it? And you are kind of a hero for hire now. What a fall. Princess to city guard to mercenary.
I was never a princess.
So, do we have a plan?
Well, what I suggest you do is listen to Bersalak here, who has some very clever ideas of how to harry and harass and then hopefully trap using a combination of the skill of your men and the magical talents of Bersalak and his associate to either lead them into the lake, which I believe is nearby, and or a valley where we can drop rocks on them.
Well, okay. I like it.
you also need to work with the clerics. They may be able to help by at least making some of your men able to hurt these things.
And also heal some if, the golems do get a hold of anyone.
Right.
Should
So you think we don't engage directly? We just
I think not, because they do a huge amount of damage. They are almost impervious to normal non-magical weapons, and I understand from your house leader, Mr. Rico,
McLaren.
is it, Mr.
Rico.
McLaren? That the
Lord McLaren would do. Thank you.
yes, him. He intimated that none of you have magical weapons at all.
No.
No, right. So you're going to struggle a lot to get anywhere near and damaging them. So the question is going to be more of a probably best mounted attack, and then withdraw to sort of bring them to you by harrying and harassing them to get them to where you want them to be, so you can disable them, hopefully all in one go.
As the main idea is to draw them away from the city that they are inhabiting at the moment.
Right, draw them away from the city.
So we can go in and sabotage and stop whatever it is that they're trying to build there.
Oh,
Because they're apparently trying to build more of themselves.
They are
Right.
using the fortress.
And we must stop that. Otherwise, the entire country will be overrun, and then who knows where they'll stop.
And I mean, I gave Mr. Bersalak those, and he'll point at the canisters.
oh yes. Roland, you take these.
Sorry.
What?
They are bombs. So if you are going to lead them into a valley, you can use a couple of these to bring down enough rock to block, either hurt them badly or at least block them in.
Big stick, go boom.
Stick of boom. Your vocabulary's increased, Sasha. Good to see.
I sent you a message, Chaz, on what Carl would have leaned in and whispered to
Oh,
Mazdak.
right, okay, sorry. I'll go and have a look at that in a minute.
Glad to see your nose is still slightly crooked.
It just adds to my natural beauty.
Mazdak will lean back into Kral, and I'll send you a message.
So
Secret even from me.
Well, we're I mean, I'm guessing if somebody wants to listen into that conversation, you can have them roll, or if there's a high passive.
I don't think either of mine are
Yes,
doing
unless
that.
it's coming from another dimension just to eavesdrop on this conversation.
Tell you what, I will.
just copy and paste it to Martin.
Yeah.
Just looking this guy
Thank you.
over.
I mean,
I didn't need that. Brody did that.
yeah, yeah. It's not essential to the plot in any way, but it probably would be funny if somebody found out.
Just a question. Does this guy, Roland, strike me as someone who is experienced, or as someone who has lots of money and bought the position that he's in at the moment?
Give me an insight check. I'll give you advantage because you're probably used to seeing military types of all sorts of position.
21.
21. This guy strikes you as the sort, not from wealth, but this is the brown noser type. He's worked his way up by just doing as he's told and ratting out others.
And you can tell from what Sasha said that she's at least broken his nose and busted his balls at one point.
I mean, no, not saying anything.
Definitely makes the comment more poignant.
Absolutely.
Well, if you are a capable leader, then we will be in good hands.
Well, it seems like you've come up with a workable plan. We are to be the distraction to lead them away from the city while you sneak in, and we can use the landscape that we know well to our advantage to try and trap them and
Yes,
things.
and don't forget, Bersalak and the clerics are there to support and use their talents wisely so that you can work together to negate this threat, whilst we go in and negate whatever it is they are building.
And if we can bring any additional help to bear, we absolutely
certainly
will.
Right, very well. Do these things have any ranged capabilities? Can we just
They do, yes.
do?
I'll let somebody else explain. Sasha, perhaps, or Bernier?
It's
Yes, Sasha, use your big words.
I mean, that's quite rude.
I mean,
Oh, we go way back. It's just banter, as they say.
Does this seem like banter, or does this seem like he's deliberately trying to antagonise her?
What's your face doing at this, Sasha?
That?
There
Oh.
you go.
Yeah, she looks like she's gonna rip his head off and throw it somewhere. Probably at his testicles.
Gonna
Yes.
she seems mightily obsessed with his testicles.
Yeah, I'm just gonna lean into
How do you
Kroll
take it?
and say, well, she does seem to like his testicles quite a lot, doesn't she?
No, it certainly makes my pride come in a bit more, you
Well,
know.
yes, as I said, they seem to have some sort of chemistry.
Maybe it's a bit like, love hate.
I mean, it could be.
I don't know. Some of these, well-to-do people.
So yeah, I'm assuming that he's just deliberately trying to antagonise her.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were going to explain the what was it you called it? Death ray. Yes, indeed.
Death Ray?
Oh, it's fabulous, Sasha. Why don't you educate the man?
Out of its chest comes a giant ray of light that knocks the socks off of you.
Ooh, I like
Well,
the sound of that.
Let's put it this way. It hurt her, so it would probably core a hole through you.
Right.
But he seemed to be taking us a little more seriously now.
Yeah, he's kind of like. I didn't realise they had such dangerous ranged weapons. I thought
I mean,
they were all fists and we could just hit them and get them to move.
No, you're going to have to be clever about this. It is going to be. You have to be fast, and you have to, dodge and weave, and you're going to have to use your brains on this one as well as your fighting prowess. Much like Sasha did when she avoided these things.
Okay.
And then I hit it with my very large sword.
Or just smirk at Kral.
I guess we know who wore the pants in that relationship.
Or not.
There's no relationship.
De-
Are they
debriefed.
always like this, actually?
I mean, it's the fact that you've got cute little, pet names for each other, and she seems startlingly obsessed with your balls.
Well,
Whether that's fondling them or kicking them, I don't quite know. Or maybe both, because, you might be into that sort of thing.
Nothing wrong with a little paddle action. But no, not with Sasha.
I'm now going to take bets on who Sasha's going to punch next. Will it be this idiot guy, or Kral, or Mazdak? Probably Mazdak.
Or all three.
She might just pick Mazdak up and throw him at Roland.
I mean, possibly. But you do get the idea that Mazdak is definitely on your side against this guy.
Yeah.
He has been slightly talking down to him.
To fight them in the open is suicide. You need to find a way to disable them.
Yes, that's why we move them, or try and lead them to
A trap.
terrain. Yes. No, I hear you.
Perhaps I turn to the wizard of his name, I've forgotten.
Bersalak.
Bersilak.
Perhaps Bersalak, you say you specialize in magical defense.
Yes. Yes.
Perhaps wards on the ones that lure the golems may be of use. Keep them alive as they draw the golems to your traps.
Yes. The issue is what we need a sort of spell that can affect many people if we want this to be led by mounted assailants. So we need something that affects many people but isn't rooted to one spot, because obviously they'll move out of it very quickly. So I will have to think about. I will have to read my books to find the right sort of spells to engage tomorrow. I'm assuming this is going ahead tomorrow, looking up at Roland, who is, by the way, still stood. Berserk came and sat down, and Roland continued to stand. Either he wasn't going to leave, or he wanted that sort of position of authority over the table. I was trying to remember what I said. Yes, I think the troops are being camped up tonight outside of the city, ready to move tomorrow on
Perfect.
your orders.
So, if we go to at first light, and if you strike your cabs and head for, I've forgotten the name of it, Rick Wolfak, and we will do the same, but curve around and wait for your. When we see the golems leaving, we will infiltrate and try to disrupt whatever's happening there, and then we will come out to assist. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Brilliant. Let's do that.
Right. I will go and speak to the troops then. Make sure everything is prepared for the morning.
Did your lord share with you the blueprint I drew for him? Are these things?
Yes. I've seen the sketch of them.
Divulge it to as many of your men as you can. It is imperative that as many of them as possible know where to hit these things.
Yes, that information is being passed around while the troops are being organized.
Kral, do you think the cannon in their chests could be disabled by arrow or similar?
I mean, I get the sense that that the hole in the chest is the focus. If you could dent it or block it in any way, it may stop it from working. Crossbows pack a hell of a punch, and if you could get a few bolts in there to dent that thing, or at least do some damage, or even choke it with I mean, if you're dropping rocks on this thing, if you could block it, it may cause a backfire and it may cause it to explode.
Oh, talking of things that explode, if these things get damaged, they do release a cloud of poisonous vapor. So please do not be near them if they explode.
Or if you know one's going to go down, your men need to pull back as quickly as they can. Because if the internals are damaged, I don't know whether it's from the mechanism that powers it or whether it's just a defense mechanism. I didn't have long enough to analyze it, but there is significant danger.
Yes, I was notified of the explosion that occurred upon its death. Okay. Well, we each know our tasks then.
Look to you, Captain, and look to your men and women, and we will do our best to do our work as quickly as possible and join the fight to aid you.
He just sort of moves around a little bit to sort of almost behind Sasha, although you've probably turned as he moves around. He puts a hand on your shoulder and just says, all jokes aside, Sasha, I do wish you well tomorrow. Sort of nervously glancing away as he finds it difficult to say nice things. Honestly.
Try not to get your men killed.
You know, I think she likes him.
And he's turned and left, taking the 3 IEDs with him.
I will say. So, good luck, Bersalak. Remember, stay far away, keep safe, hit the books.
Yes. Mastak, have you been studying with the wizards long?
Well, strange you should mention. I have been trying to study for some time, but only recently been allowed access to the libraries. But I have. I'll sort of hold up my book.
Well, first, when you sort of mentioned the libraries, his eyes sort of widened as if like, isn't it brilliant? And then you hold up this book. I went there on a trip when I was young. I so wanted to go to the school, but it's so expensive.
It is.
And
well, what I did was I met this lovely lady patron, and I was talking to her, and she told me that I should study and go to the library, and after talking to her, I suddenly found I was able to go to the library with no charge. It was fabulous.
It's amazing.
It is. She was very, very helpful. She obviously knows somebody. I've never heard of her before, but she obviously knows somebody at the library.
Wow. So lucky.
Indeed.
And he sort of proceeds to just sort of gush, very Mazdak-esque.
Oh, I'll totally join in.
Yeah. The others probably just drift away slowly. And
Yeah, there are now 2 Mazdaks.
I'll drift away a little bit with Sasha, and I'll just say, I could smell the shit on his nose.
Yes, well, he was one of my fellows during my brief stint at training to be a city guard, but he has old-fashioned ideas about where women should be.
So he should be put in the ground.
I rectified them with, a black eye, a broken nose, and some very bruised testicles. Hopefully he hasn't made that mistake since.
I would not know. I don't know if he has made any decisions. Does not strike me the kind of soldier who does.
Well, because
Perhaps he will prove us wrong.
Because of that incident, I was ejected from the city guard. Said I had temper issues, if you can believe that.
I just kind of solemnly give that a single nod.
Well, the mercenary life is more my speed. Get to go anywhere and help who I want to help, not who I'm told to help.
I am finding it a strange excursion from what I am used to.
The world is a strange place, Bernier.
That it very much is.
But I'm glad you're here.
But we have to go into a city full of building-sized soldiers tomorrow, so it will be a challenge.
As much as he irritates me to no end, I am mostly glad that Mazdak is here as well. And Dalen and Krull.
Yes. It also feels good to know that we have the gods on our side, at least. From what Dalen said, that these things are not natural. So, whilst I do not speak for Nagale, I suspect that these things would be frowned upon.
I believe that Amriel will also be on our side. This is her land and she wants peace in it. We must protect those who cannot protect themselves.
Yes. Very much so. Now, I am going to seek some rest. My mind is busy and I would rather it not be at the moment.
Anything I can help with?
No. I think the only help that I need at this moment is to slay some of these creatures.
I'll drink to that. And she'll raise her.
Raise her lemonade.
I'll give a nod and make my way to somewhere that I can start resting.
Yeah, there are individual bunks for each of you at this place by now. So as the night sort of draws to a close, people kind of move on, and people wander off to find a bed to sleep in, and Mazdak and Bersalak are still just nattering away.
What I'd like to do is once Bersalak leaves, I want to try to, because I've got spell scrolls, and I think one of them I can try and copy into my book.
Okay.
So I want to try that. It's a second level, and I now have second level wizard spell slots. So if you'll allow me, I want to try and copy the invisibility. Now I think I have to make an Arcana check, and I have to beat a 12.
Okay.
So that means I can successfully copy it into my book, which means I can learn it.
Yes.
So let's do an Arcana check. Hope, fingers crossed. A 24. So I think I succeed. Awesome.
You get it down twice, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know if whether the check succeeds or fails, the spell scroll is destroyed. So yeah, the scroll is now destroyed, but I have that spell in my book now. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Lovely.
There's this sort of burst of light as the transcription completes and the spell sort of lifts and just turns to ash.
Sweet.
Not you.
Turns into a man in his 30s.
Cool. Right. I have invisibility. I can cast now more than once because the spell scroll only lasted once. Awesome. Right. I'm happy with that.
Cool. So I'll say you all go off and get some rest, and you all get a long rest if you need it.
Yeah, sure.
And the next day starts early. You to crack of dawn. So you're up. Get some breakfast. Wander outside. You can almost hear the mass of people that are a good mile from you where you are, to the east of the city. As you all head that way, and you begin to see through the gates just this gathering of humans like only Bernia would have seen.
Bernia's walking slowly.
Come on, we got a job to do. Not a lot of time to do it.
So are you just heading straight to Rick Welfak?
Yep, literally.
Like I said, the army's got their job, we've got ours. And
Yeah.
we need to be moving before them because we need to be in position.
Yeah, so your plan is just to go and set up camp somewhere to the west of the city? Are you going to be around that side?
Yep, wait for the booms.
Wait for the booms. Okay. So as you make your way, I don't know if there's going to be any chatter or whether it's going to be sort of nervous, quiet between you.
No, Carl's not got much to say. We'll meet and greet Asriel scouts, and then he'll pretty much be silent for the rest of the journey.
Yeah, I'm just gonna concentrate on my book, making sure that I've got all my spells prepared that I want, and yeah, just doing that.
So as you walk along the main road, there's a part of it where you walk through the now charred lands left by the original rift. And as you do, anyone who's not just sort of in their own head, just give me a perception check.
17.
12.
Natural 1 for 9.
Ooh,
16.
16. Okay. So, where did
I think I must be in my own head.
Yeah.
All in Vastros.
He's got PTSD after he had a hot bath this morning, and it kind of like.
Flashback.
So 16, 17 from Bernia and Krab. So both of you notice something odd on the floor. It just sort of shines like a quick glimmer as light as your angle sort of affects it. Just something metallic over on the floor, quite small.
Oh,
Probably be a rock.
crouch down and we'll walk over and crouch down to investigate it.
It appears to be just a ring, a normal-looking silver band ring with, as you turn either it or yourself to look at it, just a little emblem of a flame on the side of this ring.
Mazdak,
Yes? Close the book.
I found something.
Okay.
Would I recognise the emblem?
Not specifically. It's a fairly plain-looking sort of outline of a flame. It doesn't sort of register as being connected to anything that you would know of.
It is a ring. I do not know if it is magical or not.
Okay.
I am hesitant to pick it up.
I will pick it up and richly cast, because I've got to touch it to identify it, so I will cast Identify. So, well, we will have to wait here for a few moments, but
Either that or Mr. Dalen, could you pick up Mazdak and carry him while he's casting his spell?
Well, he's a little bit bigger now, but I can try. I'll see if I can get him on my shoulders so he can do his thing while I'm sitting on my shoulders like he used to do when he was a little boy.
I'm still quite small. So yeah,
You're slight, even though you've grown in height, you're still quite slight.
yeah, I haven't put any weight on. I'm still really skinny. Just taller.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beanpole.
I will spend the next 10 minutes just sitting and identifying this ring.
Okay. So,
sounds like
so
the knowledge is coming.
So you on a piggyback from Dalen, you sort of keep this in your hand and just work through your normal thing. Before you get to finish this spell, something happens with this ring.
Okay.
There's just this emergence of energy which then takes form. And somebody has come out of this ring.
Okay. Somebody? Large somebody? Small somebody?
Dan,
I'll let Dan tell you.
Oh, it's done.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so what you see is a tiefling, very red all over, ornate silks, velvets, everything, jewelry dripping, very ornate, huge horns, and he looks very confused.
Is the ring still in my hand?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll go over to this person and just take that back.
You probably can't because he's about 8 feet in the air.
Yeah. So I will continue on with the Identify spell.
Can I help you? Where did you come from?
Yeah. I'm not really sure. You're very tall, aren't you?
Well,
I have.
What's your name, stranger?
Yeah, we've just met, and I'm a bit confused.
We have just met. That's why I'm asking your name. My name's Qual. Nice to meet you.
Carl. You're a strange one.
Says the person who just emerged from a ring.
That's very judgmental.
I mean, well,
You started off calling us strange.
Anyway, where's my ring? Ah, that's mine. Can you get him down?
I think he's a little busy at the moment.
Oi!
I'm concentrating on this spell. I'm not
Make
interested.
a concentration check.
That's a straight Constitution save, is it?
Can't say, yeah.
It's a con save, isn't it? This will go well. 7.
7.
7. Well, I rolled a 9, but I've got a -2 to cons. So
With everything that's just happened, almost the instant that something just came out of this ring, you're too distracted, the spell's gone, you've lost it.
really, that's rude. I was concentrating. Who are you? What?
Mazdak,
Yes?
this person just came out of that ring while you were fiddling with it.
I know, it's very rude to interrupt a person when they're spellcasting. So, again, I will ask you one more time. Who are you? I'm Mazdak.
I would suggest, he's got a bit of an itchy trigger finger and likes to sort of blast things that don't,
Yeah.
Lasts first, asks questions later.
Well,
He doesn't look very powerful to me. Give me my ring back, that would be great.
well, I would have your name first.
I would have my ring first, please.
Well, then we are at an impasse.
Okay, I will cast friends on dude.
Okay. And that is a...
I think if I saw this new person casting towards Mazdak, I'd just punch him in the face.
yeah, counter punch.
That's the sort of thing you'd do,
Yeah.
especially towards Mazdak.
Okay, well, we'll see if the spell lands, because it is...
Well, then I want to try and make a persuasion check for him to give me my ring.
So
back.
casting friends, I can resist that, yes?
No. But I have advantage on charisma checks. But when it ends, you know that I've cast a spell on you.
I don't have a wisdom saving throw. Interesting.
Don't think so.
So you're using the friend's cantrip, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just means that...
Okay.
Yeah, so for the duration, you have advantage on all charisma checks at one creature of your choice. So if he's casting friends at Mazdak, if he then makes a persuasion check against Mazdak, he's got advantage on that.
I'm going to say that a choice that isn't hostile towards you. So it's Mazdak hostile
you-
towards me.
I mean, Mazdak isn't exactly friendly towards you.
Yeah.
And Mazdak has
In that case, I'll
has
just
been
do
known to
control
eldritch
flames.
blast people in the face.
Yeah.
I will control flames, and flames appear from my hands, and I look threatening.
You try to
And at which
intimidate
point,
me.
of course, I'd just punch you in the face.
Okay, well, make a punch.
Unarmed strike, yes.
Yeah.
Please, you've got to get
That's
dice.
24.
What, to hit? Yeah.
That's 5. Well, I wouldn't do it to hurt him. I'd do it to stop him casting. So to just disrupt his spell flow, if you like, especially if he's speaking words. So I wouldn't specifically be trying to sort of smash his nose against his face, just disrupt his casting. Because I've seen what happens to Mazdak and
Friends, calm down. That really hurt.
yes,
You're very powerful.
you should not cast spells at my friends. I do not like that.
Casting spells is what I do. I'm very good at it.
Okay. Maybe we could all just take a step back. Maybe we could stop the violence. We've got a job to do and we don't have time to be dicking around here. So if give him his ring back, he gives us his name and he either pisses off or comes with us. Either or.
I like it.
Couldn't agree with
Even
me
though he's got a
more,
very
bro.
odd thing on his back. Is that a growth? How long
No,
have you
that's
had
not
that?
shale.
Right.
And what's known as a turtle. We are very large turtles.
I thought you were made up. I've heard of you. I think.
Have we,
Very confused.
I'm assuming that Mazdak has seen a tiefling before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, there are tieflings in Kantichi.
Yeah.
They are from that continent as well.
So, and I'll gesture to my hand. I'll just say, my ring.
Your name?
My ring.
Your name.
Of all things.
Fuck this noise, and Sasha's just gonna carry on walking.
Bye.
Please give him the ring, and then we can get on with the job we're doing. We're wasting time.
Fine.
Yes, Mazdak, I think you should give it back. If it's his ring, give it to him and we will go.
I will drop the ring
So
from my position on Dalen's shoulders. Just drop the ring.
you have your ring. You have my name. Now, who are you?
I will put the ring on immediately. Go, thank you. That was gracious of you.
Oh,
My name is
Slim Shady.
Yeah, that was what my thought was as well.
My name is. Come back to me. Amarius. My friends call me Embers, but you can call me Amarius.
Amarius.
and what exactly are you doing out here, Amarius?
Very good question. Not entirely sure. I'm sure it'll come back to me. I don't remember being here.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, where exactly do you think you are?
What year is it?
Can we walk and talk, please?
I'm assuming we were already walking. What year is it, do you think, Amarius? There is a reason behind my question, which I will tell you in a moment.
That's a very stupid question.
It's not, Ed. There is a rather good reason, so please answer the question. Because my patience is... there's more of it than theirs, but even mine runs out. So we've got a job to do, so you've got about 4 seconds to answer the question.
Hey, calm down, we're all friends here. And I'll pat him on the shoulder. I sent you a message.
Yeah.
Mom.
He's got a rather large crossbow, and his finger's tightening on the trigger of it.
Okay.
So, again, normally when I ask questions, people answer them. This is a fact. So, if you would be so kind as to answer a question, what year do you think it is?
You're very boring, aren't you? The year is 1165.
Is
Does that tally you?
is that
what
the
we know?
correct year?
Not for you, no. You're. It's like 7623.
Huh.
So, you are from the past. Interesting. Now, this rift was
Future.
future. So, therefore,
That puts
interesting.
him 900 years?
Less
That's
7,000
Yeah,
years.
Oh.
He
So
said,
it's one.
That's assuming that the numbers didn't reach at some point.
Yeah. So
So,
was that
interesting.
1,600 and something? Was it
1165.
1165? Okay.
right, so, interesting. And you say you are a caster of magic?
I am many things. I am a charming person. I'm a
Okay.
raconteur. I'm
Okay. Yeah.
a very skilled
And,
magician.
and where are your books?
You don't need books. I have innate ability. I'm very.
I'm sorry.
popular.
I thought I heard you say that you didn't need a book.
Books are for boring people.
Okay, we can safely leave this lunatic behind. He's no threat to anyone. If he
I'm
says
not a lunatic.
he can
Can-
cast magic without having a book.
You have a book?
Yes, of course I have a book. I have many.
Can I have
books.
a look?
No,
Can I have a look?
No.
Mazdak, I cast magic without a book, so it's not that
Yes, but you
strange.
do have books.
Yeah, but they're
Exactly.
mechanical manuals.
You are still using
They're not magical
books
books.
to aid in your skills.
Okay, but that's aside. Can I ask one more question? Where you're from, were there these large mechanical golems causing all kinds of havoc?
You ask a lot of questions. I'm a bit fuzzy on the details. I'm sure it'll come back to me. But
Right.
I don't remember how I got it.
Well,
So, but were there large mechanical golems causing all kinds of havoc? And
I just answered your question. I don't know.
You
how can you not know?
Because, well, there's lots of information in my brain, and I need to work it all out, and I'm a bit fuzzy at the moment. And I go to Mazdak and go, I'll whisper in his ear. Do you want to see something? And I'll do Eldritch Blast in the air. Look, no book.
I presume you recognise that spell, though, Mazda, because you like
I
doing
do.
that one.
I'm just going to look at him very, very suspiciously.
Where's this book of yours?
No.
Do I see a book?
He's very protective over his book. If you touch his book, you're liable to get blasted in the face. I would seriously not do that.
I'm going to.
Sounds like he's got issues.
Well, it sounds like you've got issues in the brain department, my friend. You couldn't even remember your own name 5 minutes ago.
I told you my name.
Yeah, but you had trouble remembering it, though, didn't you?
I'm going
Yes.
to stand the other side of Dalen. I want Dalen in between me and this
Right.
thing.
Right.
Whatever this happens to be, we're walking. We got jobs to do.
Sasha's still like 15, 20 feet ahead of everybody else.
you would do well to stay close to us, Amarius. We are in a war zone at the moment.
Warzone. Now that's familiar. Why is that familiar? And I'll just start skipping around the group, and I'll have conjured flames going, and I will be like throwing fire in the air. Bit nuts.
I would appreciate if you didn't do that. You will attract attention that we do not want.
Every time
You scared of something?
Every time Amarius comes round, so that Mazdak will move around Dalen to keep him away. I don't want him in.
If I see
anywhere
him,
near
I'll
my
go.
book.
Carl's basically just going to walk up to him and put the tip of the crossbow bolt literally under his chin.
Can I help you, friend?
And literally going to push it up so the tip just stabs into the bottom of his jaw. Now, I'm considered to be the most patient, apart from Miss Bernier there. But I also have a rather unsavory side when I need to. Now, we are moving somewhere to undertake a mission which requires stealth and secrecy and speed, while somebody else creates a distraction for us. Now, if you skip about and throw fire again, I'm going to pull this trigger and I'm going to leave you on the side of the road with a crossbow bolt through your head. Do not cross me and do not cost me and my friends time and effort again. Now, if you're going to come with us and help and shut the fuck up.
How tall is Kral?
Kral is... I think he's something like 6'8", something like that. He's
Okay.
sort of almost on par with Dalen.
Okay, so he's a bit taller than me. I'll just reach
He's-
up and shake his head, sort of tap him on the head and go, I understand you, sweet cheeks.
Oh, sugar. I'm glad, because I don't like doing these things, but I will do them. And then he'll pat him on the cheek and just carry on walking and catch up with Sasha.
Once he's turned around, I will use Thaumaturgy to create a bang next to where Mazdak is to make him jump.
Okay. Eldritch Blast.
Oh,
So,
it's Mazdak's standard response.
that's a 20 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay. So the damage is 10 points of force damage. As Mazdak jumps and reacts immediately.
That's rather rude.
Perhaps you
Please
should keep your magic to yourself for now.
don't do that
Amarius.
anymore.
I'll bow. Really low over the top bow.
I
Can I
will,
stab
And then
him?
I will skip at the back of the group very quietly.
I
Like,
will-
I'll do that sort of over the top skip.
I will move.
Seriously,
I will
Can I
put
stab
again.
him?
Put Dalen in between me and him.
Why am I not surprised that everybody that these people meet wants to kill them? And Carl's just talking to himself and literally walking.
Okay. Well, that feels like a suitably
Insane place to
stop.
Indeed.
So we'll call it there for tonight. Thank you, everyone. That was
Excellent.
great
That
fun.
was good fun. Oh dear.
Interesting.
So,
Is that what it is? Those genie warlocks?
That's what that strikes me as, but I guess we'll see.
indeed,
I'll have
we
to find
will.
out.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah. Thank you all very much for watching and welcoming Dan and Amarius, whoever Amarius is. Just a message from Sea Glass Oceans. I was waiting for the character reveal to character death speedrun result. I mean, it was close.
I mean, I've taken nearly half my hit points already.
Yeah, I technically I've got 2 of those Eldritch Blasts, but I only did 1. So, you know, I was feeling generous, but not happy.
yeah, I might have been able to one-shot you.
Yeah, I would. To be fair, I can be one-shotted fairly easily as well. So, anyway, thank you all very much for watching. We, of course, will be back on Tuesday for Helleran Rising episode 67, I think. Something like that. Yeah, 67.
Around there.
Something around there.
I have a notebook down here somewhere.
Yeah, 67.
67. And yes, we will obviously be there. And of course, we'll be back again next Sunday for the next episode of Amarius tries to get Mazdak to kill him, which is a thing now, apparently.
Right. Amarius has annoyed the entirety of the party except for Bernier. Can he fill out that roster?
Well,
You're welcome.
indeed. So, yeah, thank you very much, Martin. Thank you, everybody, for playing. It's always a good fun. Thank you for the chatters in the chat. And yeah, we will see you all very soon. Bye.